On the evening of 2nd June 2025, in Pakistan's Islamabad, a famous social media influencer, 17-year-old Sana Yousaf, was shot dead inside her own bedroom. She was shot at point blank range, and on top of that, she wasn't even alone at that time. Being a social media star with over 1 million followers, police quickly started a manhunt and arrested the killer in just under 20 hours. However, what made this case an international sensation is that a lot of people on Pakistani social media were celebrating her death and calling her murder as justified, revealing a rotten and degenerated societal mindset. So, without any delays, let's dive into the full case study. I'm Sam, and you're watching Crime Stories by Sam. 2nd June 2025, Islamabad, Pakistan. Famous social media influencer 17-year-old Sana Yousaf was at her home with her mother Farzana Yousaf and her aunt Latifa Sa. In the evening, Mother Farzana left for a nearby shop to buy some groceries and left the main door of the house open. Seizing this opportunity, a boy hiding in the nearby bushes came out and swiftly went into the house. Upon entering, he was met with Aunt Latifa. He confidently asked her about Sana. Being a young guy, Latifa mistook him as one of Sana's friends. Thus, she directed him towards the room of Sana upstairs. He went up through the stairs and called out Sana's name. After a couple of minutes, he started arguing with her. Aunt Latifa, who was fetching a glass of water for the guest, overheard Sana saying, "Please calm down, let's sit and talk, and don't do anything stupid, because there are CCTV cameras all around the house." These were the last words of Sana that Latifa heard, after which she heard 2 gunshots. She rushed to Sana's room and found her on the floor in a pool of blood. The boy was picking up Sana's phone from the floor. Upon seeing Latifa, he threatened her with the gun and sneaked away. He shot on Sana's chest twice. Hearing the gunshots, the neighbor rushed to Sana's home, and soon Mother Farzana too returned home, who was dead shocked by such visuals of her daughter. Sana was quickly moved to the hospital, but doctors declared her brought dead. As nothing was stolen except Sana's phone, it was clear that the information she had in her phone was the cause of her death. But before we get to that information, we need to understand Sana and her past. Sana, as a social media influencer, mostly made videos on skincare, food vlogs, music, and brand promotions. Being just 17 years old, her videos mostly resonated with Pakistani Gen Z audience. Her father, Syed Yusuf Hassan, was a government officer posted in Pakistan's Chitral. Thus, for work, he mostly stayed away from home. She had a 15-year-old brother who, although lived with her in Islamabad, but unfortunately on the day of her murder, he went to visit his father at Chitral. Sana recently passed her 12th board exams in 2024 and dreamt of becoming a doctor. Everything was going great in her life, but things started to go downhill when she received an unknown message on Instagram about a year ago. The message was from 21-year-old Umar Hayat. Before we get into the Umar Sana angle, let's get some background on Umar. Umar was a wannabe social media influencer. He was the youngest son of a retired government employee from Pakistan's Faisalabad. Umar was neither employed nor he had a desire to get employed. His house expenses, including his own expenses, were managed by his father's pension. He was a stubborn kid too, and recently his father had to sell off a piece of his ancestral property to fulfill Umar's demand of the latest iPhone. He wanted to become a famous social media influencer, and to fulfill this goal, he used to rent expensive cars, clothes, and watches, and used them to make himself look rich on social media. He also posed himself as a property tycoon and shot photos and videos in posh localities, claiming that he owns the bungalows and cars seen in his videos. His social media life was a total lie. On the flip side, due to all this bling, he effortlessly approached and convinced other female content creators for a social media collab, which in turn gave his posts a bit more reach. Now one day, on the similar lines, he saw the Instagram profile of Sana Yousaf. Sana was a way bigger social media star than any of the girls he ever approached. Thus, rather than straightaway approaching her for a collab, which Sana obviously would have rejected, he posed himself as a rich and influential man, offering her a brand deal. His Instagram profile too were filled with photos and videos that made him look genuinely wealthy. However, famous social media influencers like Sana receive numerous such brand deal offers every other day. Thus, out of formality, after a little talk, Sana politely rejected Umar's offer. But Umar wasn't the one to give up so easily. He persistently texted Sana, offering her new brand deals and requesting her for a meetup. But Sana was constantly declining his meetup request. Umar was slowly getting impatient and he started flooding Sana's inbox with audio messages and text. Soon Sana started ignoring them and even informed her family about Umar. Sana, being a famous social media star, was used to receiving such creep messages from men on Instagram. Thus, she didn't consider Umar as any different from rest of them. But in reality, Umar was way creepier than anyone she ever encountered. Umar started tracing Sana's house location by analyzing the backgrounds of the videos and photos Sana posted on social media and soon got successful. On 29th May 2025, that is on Sana's birthday, he rented a Toyota Fortuner, filled it up with lots of flowers and gifts, drove over 300 kilometers from Faisalabad to Islamabad and showed up at the door of Sana's house. Sana got shocked seeing him at her doorstep. She refused to meet him and asked his family members not to let him in. This was the exact moment when Umar's toxic ego got badly hurt. He thought himself as a guy whom no girl can ever say no to, but Sana did exactly that. Later that day, as an even bigger blow to his ego, Sana posted photos of her birthday celebrations on Instagram. At this moment, Umar vowed to take revenge from Sana for all this humiliation. 2nd June 2025, Sana's home. Since the afternoon, Umar hid in the bushes nearby Sana's home, waiting for either Sana to come out or for someone to leave the main door open. He also brought a fully loaded pistol with him. After waiting for hours, finally in the evening, Sana's mother went to the nearby shop, leaving the main door open, and as explained earlier in the video, he killed Sana. Now, as the family members had no idea who Umar was, thus based on the house CCTV footage, police started searching for a slim young boy of medium height wearing a black shirt and trousers. However, without a proper identity, catching Umar wasn't easy. Police then took the daunting task of scanning over 113 public CCTV footages and linking those with the mobile cellular data to finally establish Umar's identity. After this, police easily got access to his phone location, which led them to Faisalabad. There, police conducted raids at 8 different locations and finally arrested Umar within 20 hours of the murder. They also recovered a pistol of .30 bore along with Sana's phone, which he stole to delete all the chats and messages that took place between him and Sana. Post-investigation, police revealed personal rejection as the motive of the murder, after which the case became an overnight sensation on both Pakistani and international media, highlighting the threatening rise of toxic masculinity in Pakistani society. Adding to this, a large number of Pakistani men were praising Umar and celebrating Sana's death. As per them, women are only meant for the kitchen, and showing themselves on social media is against their cultural values. On the contrary, Sana's content wasn't even remotely vulgar. Thus, all this hatred for Sana can be linked to her substantial rise as a young woman that triggered a superiority complex in certain sections of Pakistani men. Umar too was one of them who couldn't handle the rejection by Sana. Currently, he is in police custody and court hearings are going on. We hope that he gets the harshest punishment. So this was all about Sana Yousaf murder case. Hope this video helps you in keeping you and your loved ones safe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.